Watch Dogs Legion, an underrated game in an underrated series. I remember playing this game on release back on Xbox and it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't great. It's set in my hometown of London, so for me, I was willing to give it a chance regardless. It had a big explorable London with plenty of things to do and see, many familiar sights, the combat was similar to what we've come to expect from previous Watch Dogs games, and the story itself was actually very interesting. It was just bogged down due to the game's terrible voice acting, which you'll be glad to know they haven't fixed. Despite this though, it's still a game that I thoroughly enjoyed and could appreciate it for what it is and what it was trying to be. When in this video I've decided to revisit Watch Dogs Legion in 2023 on the PS5 and obtain its Platinum Trophy. Much like my previous Platinum videos, I've broken this down into steps as a sort of guideline for me to follow, and while we are on the topic of previous videos, if you'd like to see what other games I've covered, I will leave a link in the description below, so feel free to check them out after you've watched this one. Anyway, step 1 for this Platinum Trophy will be to go through and complete the main story, enjoy myself and prepare myself for the big grind that will be to follow. Step 2 will be the cleanup stage, where we will be going around collecting all collectibles and completing all activities like side quests and turning boroughs defiant. And finally, step 3 will be to complete any miscellaneous trophies that we have left, and these will likely mainly consist of trophies linked to certain operators with certain gadgets and skills. And obviously, hopefully doing all of these will result in a Platinum Trophy. Anyway guys, with all of that out of the way, let's start this Platinum Trophy journey. We begin the game as spy and DedSec operative Dalton Wolf, basically a budget James Bond, and we find ourselves following a tip that someone is planning to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Along with the help of Sabine, the group's leader, and Bagley, a super intelligent and frankly quite funny AI, we navigate our way through the underground, avoiding the armed guards. This kind of introduces us to a bit of the game's stealth and its quick hacking mechanics. We eventually get inside Parliament, we find the bomb and start defusing it when we are ambushed by some more armed guards. After dealing with them, Dalton and Bagley manage to fully defuse the bomb. We then discover a map that reveals locations of more bombs scattered throughout London, and Bagley tells us that he has found a transmitter on the roof that's sending out signals to the other bomb sites and would allow us to shut down all of the bombs. A few moments later, the DedSec HQ is breached, with Sabine managing to escape alive. Sabine then tells us that she is going to be shutting down Bagley so that no one can get their hands on DedSec intel. Solely up to us now, we fight our way to the roof, and while trying to disarm the bombs, we are confronted by some drones. A hologram then projects and shows a mysterious person who claims to be from the unknown group Zero Day and who are behind the bomb threat. The person claims they are trying to save the world and that destruction is always the cure.
Destruction is always the cure, and it begins today. Zero Day.
The other bomb sites then start detonating across London, and Zero Day then tell us it's time for a hard reset before promptly shooting Dalton. Following the bombings, we discover that Nigel Cass, the leader of a private military group named Albion, had received a mandate to secure London and vowed to hunt down DedSec. You see, it appears that DedSec had actually been framed for these bombings, and that any remaining survivors of the group had been hunted down and either incarcerated or killed. Business was booming, and thanks to CTOS, a highly advanced surveillance system now being installed in London, Albion was now able to constantly track and monitor you at any time, resulting in crime being brought down to an all-time low. And with restrictions being lifted, it seemed like things were gradually returning to normal for London. The cutscene ends, and we unlock our first trophy of the game. We then find out Sabine wants to reboot DedSec, and using a spider bot, Sabine manages to hack into Bloom's CTOS system and unfortunately discovers that nearly all of the group had either been killed or arrested. Sabine does however find a few old friends of the group, and it's at this point that we as the player now need to choose 3 members of the public that are going to bring back DedSec. You see, unlike the previous games in the series, this game doesn't have any one singular protagonist, but instead you have the option as playing as almost anyone you can find in London. Now at this stage, it's a good idea to choose operatives that are going to benefit the team or your combat situations, whether that be from shorter arrest times to better hacking capabilities, or even just straight up better weapons. After making our choice, our operative is then contacted by Sabine, who sends us coordinates to a DedSec safe house and asks us to meet her there. We arrive at the safe house, but Sabine is nowhere to be found. We restore power as well as bring Bagley back online, and then Sabine contacts us and tasks us with helping Bagley find out who Zero Day are, as well as bringing the London branch of DedSec back up and running. We get our hands on some UAR tech, get introduced to many of the different side activities dotted throughout London, and soon after completing some of these activities, we manage to turn one borough into a defiant state for the Rise Up trophy, and also recruit another operative for the Making Friends trophy. We begin our investigation into the bombings, where we discover through AR reconstruction that the bombings have links to Mary Kelly, leader of Clan Kelly, and CEO of Albion, Nigel Cass. Eventually we gain access to some audio and video logs left by Inspector Caitlin Lau that tells us that any evidence implicating Albion or Clan Kelly were involved in the bombings had been buried. However, she knows that Clan Kelly is running a human trafficking and organ harvesting operation and has reason to believe that Albion is working with them and providing them with immigrants from their processing and deportation centres. We are then tasked with investigating this further, as well as finding kidnapped operative Angel Lopez, which eventually leads us to the Southwark incinerator. Once there, we make our way into the basement, where we bear witness to Clan Kelly's organ harvesting, as well as finding the investigator Caitlin Lau. After retrieving her files and rescuing her, she tells us of everything that she knows so far. However, due to the secretiveness and unwillingness of Kelly in interrogations to tell the inspector anything, we decide to head over to Mary Kelly's Sandstone residence and hack into her security system, where we discover that not only is she human trafficking and organ harvesting, but she also has numerous people fitted with microchips so that she can track their every move. We see a woman being brought into Mary Kelly, where she had been caught trying to remove a microchip that is placed in the back of her neck. Moments later, Mary Kelly triggers something in the microchip, causing the woman to go into a seizure, and uses this to set an example to the rest of her quote-unquote servants.
Paying attention, are we? Good, be sure and spread the word.
During this, we also discover that there will be a slave auction coming up hosted by Mary Kelly herself, and after learning this, we can't do much more in this investigation except wait for the auction date. While waiting for the auction, we take the opportunity to use this time to investigate further into Nigel Cass and his connection with the bombings. We follow a lead and attempt to contact Hamish Balaji, a man formerly mentored by Nigel Cass and now in hiding and wanted by Albion for aborting a drone attack on an African village. We end up at his block of flats, where we hack into his surveillance system and disarm the traps scattered around his flat. Once entering his flat, Hamish contacts us through his computer, and he informs us that he has dirt on Albion but is scared for his life, as he is aware of just what Nigel Cass can do and get away with. However, before getting a chance to finish our conversation, we need to make a quick escape to avoid the incoming Albion troops. Funnily enough, we then recruit an Albion troop of our own and use him to infiltrate the Tower of London's White Tower and spy on an Albion meeting. During this meeting, we see Nigel Cass presenting his new Project Themis, new autonomous drones that have the ability to anticipate crime, giving them the ability to stop it before it can even happen. Of course, the police commissioner doesn't seem too set on the idea of autonomous drones having that kind of authority, and of course the only way to deal with someone standing against you is to shoot them in the head. After learning about Project Themis, we decide to go after Titus, the company behind the development of the Themis drones. We steal some plans for Albion's new micro-drone, head over to Titus and use that same micro-drone to deactivate Titus's security, giving us access to the Themis file. In this file we find a video log, and in this video we discover that not only can the drones anticipate and prevent crime from happening, but they can identify and kill any threat before they can do harm based on an algorithm that will be implemented called LifeScore. Hamish confirms this as he admits that he actually created it. Thankfully we managed to upload a virus deleting the Themis project files and accompanying LifeScore algorithm. Unstory related, we soon discover that one of our operatives has been kidnapped and proceed to rescue him for another trophy.
Looks like you avoided them. Our friend is back in fighting shape and another enemy of DedSec has been thwarted.
Back to the story. Soon after, we are told by Sabine that she has found an unknown group on the dark web known as 404 that claim to be taking down the elite class of London one contract at a time. Sabine suggests we infiltrate 404 and acquire their assets to use in our own fight for freeing London. We make contact with 404, complete a few contracts for them, earn the Shaken Not Stirred trophy, and 404 eventually realises that we are DedSec and reveals herself to be Nout. She puts us on the trail of Broker Tech and its CEO Sky Larson. We hack the GBB's CTOS hub and find ourselves watching a conference where Sky unveiled her newest project named Daybreak. This project Daybreak essentially scans someone's brain and uploads its neural map into the cloud, in theory making someone immortal unless the cloud was to shut down. We then break into Sky Larson's home hoping to find more information, where we are greeted by an AI that seems awfully keen on getting us downstairs into the underground lab. Heading down into the lab we discover Sky's childhood home and upon investigating reveal some dark details about her as well as her plans. We find a spider bot that has her dog Ada's neural mapping assigned to it and decide it's probably best if we put it out of its misery.
There, good girl.
Perhaps you would like to go upstairs.
We also find out that Project Daybreak is more than just preserving someone's life. She plans on using people's neural data to essentially turn them into AI, and we discovered that she first used this properly on her mother, which she turned into her house's personal AI, and asks us to help her finally die.
Help you pass on. Yes, let me die in peace.
And with that we make the moral decision to put her to rest. This in a way would also mean that essentially all AI that have been created were essentially once people. While exploring the house we also obtain the Magpie trophy for collecting 15 relics. After putting Sky's mother to rest, we obtain the location of Sky Larson and proceed to infiltrate the Bloom complex and access the quantum lab hidden beneath. Once inside the lab we discover that Sky Larson has been uploading her own neural map to the cloud, and at this point we are given a choice: allow her to finish uploading her neural map to the cloud to continue her research, or shut down the cloud, stopping the upload and killing her in the process. Now, I haven't forgot that she killed the dog, so for me, she had to go. After shutting down the cloud and escaping the complex, we discover thanks to a news broadcast that in respect of Sky's death, Broker Tech was going to be shutting down neural mapping AI as well as Project Daybreak. 404's chapter of the game ends and we unlock another trophy.
Hey, you went dark for a while there. What happened?
It's done. Larson is dead.
We soon receive multiple unknown SOS signals and decide to investigate. We end up at a cafe where we are handed a phone. The phone rings and a voice on the other side tells us that they have information about the SIRS and that rogue officers were responsible for framing DedSec for the bombings. We eventually track the mystery man down and find out that he is being held captive at the UK Fibercom Centre. Upon rescuing him, we find out his name is Richard Malik, an intelligence analyst who believes that Zero Day consists of rogue SIRS officers and that they framed DedSec for the bombings in order to seize power over London, which Bagley later confirms. We gain Malik's trust and begin searching for these rogue officers by completing some tasks for him, one of which included sleeping with a liaison, so all in all, it was worth the time.
Shall we move this conversation somewhere a bit more private?
Eventually, all our hard work was worth it, as he informs us that he believes that the head of Zero Day is the director of the SIRS, Emma Child. After following some leads, we managed to narrow down some possible locations, one of these being the stage in Lambeth. We head over there and are ambushed by Albion officers, and my favourite operative is then kidnapped in a black van. Not happy at all. We eventually track Emma Child down, and with the hope of our operative being with her, we head to the location. Once there, we make our way into the holding chamber. However, we discover that the agent isn't there and instead are confronted by Child. She reveals to us that Rich and Malik had betrayed us both and played us a video recording of him in a meeting with Nigel Cass, where they are discussing Malik's plan to infiltrate DedSec and destroy them from the inside. Child also reveals to us that she believes Malik was involved in the bombings and is planning to do it again, and with that we make a deal to help her kill Malik in exchange for our operative, which I think is pretty damn fair.
They kill Malik and you get them back.
While Malik is unaware of our plans, we agree to meet him in Trafalgar Square. Child informs us that during our meet with Malik, she has stationed snipers on the rooftops to take him out. As you probably guessed, Malik never turned up to the meeting, and after doing a bit of bin raiding, we find a device. He then contacts us where he claims that he wanted us to see that recording and that he has managed to obtain all of the identities of current DedSec operatives, and we are now wanted by the authorities. Moments later, a bomb detonates in Canada House, killing Emma Child, who is inside, taking control of the SIRS and leaving DedSec framed for another bombing. We then head to the SIRS headquarters, and with Bagley's help we hack into Filament, giving us access to the Malik dossier from the bombings. In this dossier we discover that Malik had ordered 40 kilos of Semtex to be delivered to a house opposite his parents, and orders for SIRS agents to plant them in Canada House. Armed with the evidence to bring him down, we also use Filament to track Malik's location, and knowing he has been compromised, he tried to make an escape, although now in a panic makes the mistake of getting into a vehicle connected to the CTOS system, and Bagley decides to take him for a nice little trip back to DedSec's safe house. Back at the safe house, we talk to Malik, where he admits to us that yes, he was behind the recent Canada House bombings, but not behind Zero Day or its bombings, and actually tried to stop them, believing Zero Day to be DedSec. And now for the foreseeable future, he will spend his days in this cell. The SIRS chapter ends, and we unlock another trophy. The day of Mary Kelly's auction was now upon us. We got our hands on an invitation and proceed to infiltrate the auction. Once inside, we make our way down to the basement, where we discover numerous amounts of things that Clan Kelly sells, along with some audio logs where we can hear Mary Kelly agreeing to provide Zero Day with the explosives in exchange for becoming Queen of London, which, to be fair, is a pretty solid deal if you don't get caught. We then help Caitlin Lau get her hands on the data from a server named the Golden Goose. This data will have the rest of the evidence she needs to put Mary Kelly away for good, and so we decide to head to Neogate to get our hands on the data. We once again head back to Mary Kelly's Sandstone residence, this time to put a stop to her illegal operations once and for all. However, before doing that, we disable the microchips located in the slaves' necks, so that Mary Kelly can no longer kill them with the single push of a button, which leads Mary Kelly to retreat into her office. I, along with Caitlin Lau, reach Mary Kelly's office and confront her on her activities. Mary Kelly, being the woman she is though, seems to embrace the idea of being arrested, knowing that she will be out again within a matter of hours. Knowing that the justice system at this current point in time can't be trusted, Caitlin decides against arresting her and instead allows Mary Kelly's slaves to have some well-deserved justice. And with that, we have successfully brought down the leader of the biggest crime family in London, bringing an end to the Clan Kelly storyline and awarding us another trophy. We then turn our sights back onto Nigel Cass, and with the help of Hamish and his contact on the inside that unfortunately met his demise, we discover that Nigel Cass is in the process of upgrading his Themis drones, and we make our way over to Tower Bridge, where we disable Themis's encryptors and upload a virus, permanently destroying Themis's upgrade.
What a sight.
That's it for Themis, fam. No coming back from this.
Continuing to work with Hamish, we follow the disappearance of a missing journalist, during which we come across an audio file showing Nigel Cass talking to the leader of Zero Day. Zero Day plants the bombs and in exchange gets access to Filament. With finally a good amount of incriminating evidence to bring Nigel Cass down, we head over to Piccadilly Circus, where Hamish has a surprise waiting for us. Hamish has put together a video revealing the evidence of what he has done and broadcasted it to the whole of London. With the people of London now turning against Cass, this forces him into retreating deep into the Tower of London's White Tower, and of course, it was up to us to get inside and bring him down. Once inside, we agree with a pretty decent boss fight. We begin with dealing with the massive turret in the centre of the room, before finally facing Cass head on. Unfortunately for old Nigel here, that didn't work out too well for him. With the Albion storyline finished, we unlock another trophy. With Sky Larson, the SIRS, Mary Kelly and Nigel Cass all dealt with, we head back to the HQ for a well-earned break and a party. We talk to other members and friends of DedSec, although Sabine is still not here in person. We even talk to Malik, where he hints that we should be looking for Zero Day within DedSec itself, and shortly after, Bagley alerts us to an intruder in the DedSec network who is stealing all of our tech and information that we have acquired throughout the game, and it is being transferred to a device named Drool Britannia. Zero Day then once again contacts us and states that our efforts have been secretly assisting Zero Day and preparing them for a war. With the help of Bagley, we manage to track down the location of the signal that is being broadcasted from the Stockwell war bunker. Exploring the bunker, we come across what seems to be the headquarters of Zero Day. We find numerous plans that were originally stolen by us and repurposed into something else. We find evidence which shows Zero Day has had his hand in pretty much everything. However, we do find one video which is a little bit more interesting. The video reveals to us that Sabine, leader of DedSec and so-called ally, is actually Zero Day and the voice behind the hologram she uses. She worked with Cass during the Tone bombings in exchange for access into the filament network. However, Cass decided he didn't want any loose ends and attempted to kill her, but Sabine escaped. She then started up DedSec again in order to get revenge on Nigel Cass, which is where that leaves us present day. Sabine then makes a present day appearance and tells us that the Drool Britannia is her way to destroy society, reducing it to nothing and starting from scratch, although her actual motives behind it still remain a mystery. She again makes her escape before we have to fight our way through Albion soldiers and escape the bunker. After escaping the bunker, we see that Zero Day has now hacked all of the screens around London and is telling its citizens that all technology is about to turn against them and that their lives will turn into a living hell. Bagley then reveals to us that he has discovered that Drool Britannia is actually a patch that Sabine had been developing that allowed all Bagley AIs to access any vulnerable system connected to the CTOS and compromise vital public facilities. So facilities like hospitals, power plants, banks, they would all be compromised, bringing a total collapse to society across the UK. Hamish then suggests that there is a way to essentially kill every Bagley, which would put a stop to the madness going on in London. For this, one operative would need to head to Bloom Tower to take down their servers, while the other operative breaks into Broker Tech and destroys Bagley's. Making our way to the Bloom Tower, we can see there is absolute carnage on the streets of London. Cars and nearly everything else is seemingly out of control. Eventually, we make it to Bloom Tower and proceed to align the tower fins, creating an error in the system and allowing us access to the terminal at the top to take Bagley offline. Once at the top, we find Sabine on the edge of one of the tower fins. Bagley asks us to stall her while he hacks into the transmitter. Of course though, talking can only last so long, and before Sabine gets the chance to end us, we end her by hacking the tower fin she is standing on, causing her to fall off and eerily enjoying her death.
How's that for a hard reset?
With Sabine dealt with and the transmitter down, all that was left was to shut down Bagley. Back at Broker Tech, our other operative is informed by Bagley that we need to destroy the temperature regulators, and upon doing so, will trigger his automatic shutdown procedure. Bagley then directs us to his data containers and that we will need to disable each of them to fully shut him down. With one final data container left, we begin to have second thoughts. However, Bagley urges and somewhat comforts us by explaining to us that his purpose was to help DedSec and he wanted us to let him fulfill his purpose. With a tear in our eye, we shut down his final server and we hear his final thoughts before he is shut down for good.
But wait. See you again, mate.
The credits roll and we discover through a news report that DedSec's name has been cleared and that we saved London from another terrorist attack. With 0 Day gone, the major crime families having no leadership and corrupt organisations of power being exposed, London and the rest of the UK begin to return to some form of normality. A cutscene then plays showing a Bloom CTOS drone flying around London before crashing. Members of DedSec are then seen fixing the drone and discover that their version of Bagley has managed to hide himself inside one of them, avoiding the complete shutdown of his main OS. And honestly, I would have been pissed if they killed off Bagley, as he actually makes the game 10 times more enjoyable just with the dialogue that he has. We return him to his terminal in the safe house, the cutscene ends, bringing DedSec's story to a close, and we unlock our final story related trophy. With story out of the way, now it was time for everybody's favourite, the cleanup stage. During this stage my plan was simple. I would complete all remaining side quests that offer trophies and then proceed to make my way around the map, turning all boroughs defiant, completing all paste up locations, as well as drinking and playing darts in every bar. If I completed any other miscellaneous trophies on the way, that was a plus, as I knew this was going to take a significant amount of time. In terms of the side quest, the only really interesting one was the Finding Bagley side quest. In this side quest we discover that after being brought back to life, he had found a series of corrupted images in his operating system, which he believes to be memories, and that perhaps as he is an AI, and based off of what we learned while investigating Sky Larson, he could have been a very alive human at one point. While photographing the locations shown in the images, it unlocks audio files within his OS, and within these audio files we learn that Bagley was indeed once a real person named Bradley, a keen rower and a man with overall high ambitions. However, he suffered from epilepsy, which severely handicapped him in later life. It is also revealed to us that he is actually Bradley Larson, brother of Sky Larson, and that to save him, she turned him into an AI. We also learn that Bradley is still alive and is in care at the St. Pancras Grand Hotel. We end up taking Bagley to visit him, where he attempts to communicate with Bradley. However, his condition is so advanced that he hasn't spoken to anyone in over a year, and that still seems to be the case. The side quest ends, we unlock another trophy, and also begin the montage of our cleanup stage.
Brilliant.
How's it going, lad? Oh, you know.
Looks good.
That's how we do it! Yes!
Is it the darts you enjoy, or is that just...
Yo, you got this. Keep it up.
With football skills on point and with most of the map cleanup now completed, it was time to focus on the operative specific trophies. Now, seeing as everyone in London has different occupations, many of them also have their own unique skills and gadgets, and we now needed to use some of their skills and unique gadgets in order to eliminate enemies. This ranges from using drones, calling on some friends to help, and even arresting people. So once again, here is another little montage of me doing that.
Go get them.
Next, we were on the hunt for a video game designer, a legendary species of human on this game that rarely spawn. And believe me, this was a very time-consuming process. Come on, let me scan him. Why won't you let me scan him? Come on. Oh my god, boys, we done it. We got a game developer. We got a game developer. You are coming on my team, matey. Come on.
Deck? Yeah?
Alright, mate.
Yes, we should have the trophy. Come on, recruit Edward Sen. And we've got no trophy. He's on my team, right? Yeah, look, he's on my team. Okay, we'll swap to him and see if that kind of works. Yeah, it also turns out that video game developers do not count towards this trophy. As he was now useless to me, we proceed to get him put into A&E and then proceed to kill the man who put him there for the "and stay down" trophy. And eventually, after about 2 hours of searching, I came across the elusive video game designer and recruited him to the cause, unlocking the metagaming trophy. Wait, let me check. Oh my god, Leroy Loran, video game designer. Oh my god, I thought we would never find one. I was about to give up. Oh my god, get on my team.
Alright, mate.
Yeah, I don't care. Hurry
I'm
up,
in.
give me the trophy. Come on. Yes, metagaming. It's done. Whew, recruit a video game designer. Finally. Oh shit, they're coming. Come on, please don't notice me. Please don't notice me. Okay, it's working. It's what I mean, I'm moving right in front of you, but there you go. And there we go. You don't see me trophy unlocked. Escape a pursuit level 5 doing a statue emote. Nice. Okay, so now we gotta just work out where this restricted sector is to get the trophy. Okay, no, apparently this is the restricted sector, the Royal Tour trophy. Enter Buckingham Palace's restricted area, disguised as a royal guard. Nice, that's out of the way.
Yes, would be to join us. DedSec could use you.
Yes, I think we'll make a formidable team.
And there we go, every walk of life trophy. Have a team of 20 operatives with different occupations. Okay, so we got 85 skill points or tech points. We should have enough to buy the final weapon upgrade. There we go, locked and loaded. Purchase all campaign weapon upgrades or all online weapon upgrades. I haven't played online yet. And enough to buy the final upgrade, and we didn't get the trophy. Maybe I have to get all of these. Okay, that was my mistake. Here we go, got 305, and if my calculations are correct, and using a calculator, I'm assuming they are, we can now fully upgrade all of this. And there we go, we get the fully kitted trophy. Unlock all upgrades in campaign mode. See, I thought it was just this because I unlocked all the weapon stuff which was here. This was its own category. And then upgrades is its own category here. So I assumed you just had to get this, but no, you have got to get all of this and all of this as well. So yes. Okay, so we got enough money now. We're going to buy a weapon skin. So let's see what skin we'll buy. We're not going to go all out. We're just going to get... We're going to make this look pretty. We're going to make it white and black. There we go. All about the aesthetic trophy. Buy a weapon skin. And we should be able to get one more if we grab this. Let's turn it into... let's make it dark grey. And there we go. Rewrap my whip trophy. Buy a vehicle paint. Lovely. 2 trophies down. And now I'm going to spend the remaining amount of money we have on buying like all of the clothes, because we need to spend 100,000 on clothes. So yeah, this is going to take a little while. There we go, we look amazing. Okay, time to go to the next place and spend the rest of our money. This was actually surprisingly easy. I thought I was going to have to go everywhere, but a lot of the clothes cost a hell of a lot of money, so we may even get it done on this. I mean, look, I've spent like 60k almost in just that other place, so I'm expecting this to be done. Okay, here we go, fresh threads. That was quicker than I thought. Spend 100,000 ETO on clothes in campaign mode. Nice, it's another trophy done and out of the way. I think we've only got one left remaining now, guys. Okay, so now we need to do 20 parcel Fox delivery missions. I don't know if it's like one delivery per one of these boxes. Oh, okay, it's like this. Okay, we can do this. So we're on our way, guys, to do our first delivery of the day. I'm hope they're happy with my service. I think I'm pretty speedy. I don't cause too much damage. I stick to the rules of the road, as you can see.
Delivered.
And that's it, done. Now we've only got 19 more to go. I'm glad it takes you to one of these, and then you can just pick another one again, and you just pick one that's hopefully really close to you and deliver it to that. That's going to make it so much quicker. Okay, 10 seconds. Yeah, we've done this. We've done it. It's cool. Stick that in there, and let's get another mission. Oh, no, okay, no, we can get the trophy. DedSec delivery, finally, complete 20 Parcel Fox delivery missions, and that means we get the completionist platinum trophy, get all other trophies. Oh my god, I am so glad that's done. The collectible grind was real. I wished that I'd spent more time picking up tech points throughout the game while I was doing the collectibles, because that just took me forever. But that's it, boys, we're done. And with that being our final trophy, this also brings us to the end of the video. Guys, it has been a long one, both for you and for me. So to any of you that are still here, thank you. I absolutely adore you. This game overall is fun. It definitely has its moments, but is unfortunately held back by repetitive missions and at times some terrible voice acting. I didn't really come across any glitches or bugs, so that was actually quite a nice experience, and it has come a long way since launch, with multiple updates introducing new and old characters, as well as adding a zombies resistance mode. However, I still feel like this game had much more potential to be something absolutely incredible, and while it does try its hardest, it just isn't quite there yet. If you guys enjoyed the video and would like to see more content like this, then make sure to hit that like button and share this video around. It shows your support, and your support is always appreciated on my channel. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you think of Watch Dogs Legion and whether or not this is a game you have or would like to have in your platinum trophy collection. And if you haven't already, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to stay up to date and be the first to know when a new video goes live. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.